Well, I'm currently watching my Adobe program, After Effects, render out a video I made about a senseless, horrific murder of a Ukrainian woman on a train in Charlotte. And while that's going, I am now recording a video about a senseless, horrific murder that happened in Utah. Yet another disgusting event to scar everyone who saw it, and everyone saw it, thanks to the freakish nature of modern life, where there is no barrier or filtration. It's just, if you have a timeline, you're going to see an assassination. You would have seen it with Trump. We've seen it many times. I was just making the point with Irina, the Ukrainian, that it is unthinkable and ghastly, the fact that she was murdered for no reason by a man. And that whose job is it? Who hits the pause button and says, why is everyone looking at this? Why do we see the worst events imaginable? I don't want to be shielded from the truth. Someone needs to see this. Action needs to be taken. The facts do need to come out, but does everyone need to be impacted in the most visceral, visual way imaginable by watching literally daily snuff videos? That's a different question. It's a larger question. It's a Black Mirror episode. Just because you can do something, should you do it? I don't even know who to blame. Whose terms of service on what platform? I mean, just social media in general has led to a macabre, modern-day reality where the most violent, disgusting, traumatizing footage that you could possibly imagine will be delivered to your eyeballs and to your brain and to your soul, guaranteed, and for what reason? It's not to benefit you, trust me. It's someone else can eke a little profit off of the fact that this footage, while massively destructive to your psyche, collectively and individually, it will get clicks and it will be viral in the worst way imaginable. And so someone can profit somehow. It is a sick reflection of human character, greed. It's like this soulless, mindless machine that just pumps out to us without thought or consideration. That's a tangent. Let me express my thoughts about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. There's many things that can be said about this, that will and should be said. I'm about to say some of them. Let me prioritize what I say, though, by saying this point blank and without ambiguity. I am sickened, I am saddened, I am outraged, I am in shock, I am horrified by what I just witnessed. It is an absolute to even say this shit is so redundant. I will say it anyway. It is evil and wrong. It is not remotely justified. It is totally unacceptable. I mourn and grieve for that bright young man with a beautiful family, friends, success, fans, businesses. The man was passionate. He was researched, lucid, a great communicator. He was a doer. He was a creator. The man would go out. He would engage. He would go to the enemy campus. He'd walk right in and be like, let's talk. Let's discuss. He didn't want violence, didn't promote violence, was a very actually mild and moderate guy. The point has been made that this guy is no different than essentially Democrats in the early 2000s.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
He had his viewpoints. He pushed for them. He wanted to make the country better. He believed in what he said. This was not a grifter. This is a man who genuinely wanted to better his country and to help young people. He was positive. He had a sense of humor. The guy was a likable guy. And now, none of this needs to be said, by the way. This guy was a patriot. This guy was a good guy. He could have not had any of these things going for him. This act of evil would have still been as contemptible. He just happens to have been these things. And it's worth pointing out. I would watch him. I would see him say things that made sense. Very reasonable. He knew the facts. He had great points. I agree with him on so many things. And this is a thing that a lot of people want to talk about where they go, look, I disagree with him. Like, I want to throw that out there. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The man was assassinated. So to his family, to his friends, to the people in his life, and to him himself, I am deeply sorry. My heart breaks that this has happened, and I feel awful for everyone involved who knew him personally. Now they are forced to grieve this loss, to mourn, to heal, to come together to support those that remain. We have a different duty. Part of that is to get justice, first and foremost. doesn't bring anybody back, it's far too late. The line has been crossed. Even having said that, the man who did this must be caught. This is an interesting time. As I record this video, we haven't caught him. They arrested some old guy. It turns out it wasn't him. Who the man was is important for several reasons. First of all, accountability. He needs to be punished. I'm in favor of the death penalty. I think so is Utah. You can twist my arm. We can throw him in jail forever. It doesn't matter. Don't celebrate him. Very sickening that I would have to say that. The condemnation of that man is basically the same no matter who he is. So I don't care what race, age, political affiliation. It doesn't matter. What he did is everything. It's enough. I just made this point with the guy who killed the Ukrainian. The why he did it doesn't matter. In this case, it is slightly different than the stabbing on the train because, for a few reasons, but one that I want to highlight is that we would like to prevent this in the future. So that's where our attention now has to go because we cannot change the past now. And so the why this terrorist did this, because this was an act of political terror. This was not random. He killed Charlie Kirk for his views. Which view in particular he didn't like? Was it his discussion about trans stuff? Pro-life? Probably not about guns, because the guy who did it had a gun. Was it about Israel? Maybe, likely. Who was the shooter watching? Who was he influenced by? There are influencers out there. They influence people. This is the result. This man did not live in a vacuum. This man had access to the internet. So when you catch him, take that computer, dive through it, and there are some names to be named. And whoever is advocating for violence, that is your camp. You are those people. There's two groups. It's not left and right. It's right and wrong. It's sane and insane. It's violent and then non-violent. It's human versus subhuman. So those are the camps. Okay, these are non-negotiable lines in the sand that have been crossed. So I don't care about the disagreements, and you can yip about those all you want. Obviously you disagree with the man. I disagree with you. You disagree with me. We both disagree with your mother. Who cares? No one's killing people over this. And if you do, you will die, or you will be you'll ruin your life. As if that selfish motivation should be the reason why you don't kill someone. You have violated this human being and everyone who produced him, loved him, supported him, the people in his family, his personal family, and him himself, which sometimes gets overlooked because he's no longer here. He had the right to live his life, and it was taken away by a fucking coward on a rooftop with a long-range weapon. And he killed a stranger because he didn't like something he said. Like a goddamn psychopath. So for that family and for the people that knew him, they now go through that process of mourning, of healing, of coming together, of honoring that man, what he did, what he stood for. We aren't them. Okay, that's a nice sentiment. I understand it. That's a human impulse. Furthermore, on the flip side, the one man that did this, we hate him. We should hate him. We should bring him to justice. That's not good enough. Okay, this is not a story of two human beings. They live in a context. They live in a culture. They live in a society. Let's extend it. What else is to be gleaned from this? Obviously, this man had political influences. What were they? Who else is to blame for this event? Is the full blame to be put on this man? Clearly not. Someone has egged him on. Someone has pushed him to do this. Okay, that is a very normal reaction. So we get the beautiful sentiments of love and support to Charlie Kirk and his people, his family. We get the condemnation of the shooter. Fuck him. This is beyond anything that we can accept. It's just barbarity. But now let's talk about the rest of it. There is a very distinct, deflating feeling of powerlessness that I feel in the wake of these events. And this is not the first time this has happened. Any shooting, mass shooting, assassination, you name it. We experience first the shock, the horror, the trauma of the event, all deeply disturbing. But then there's a sense and a reality that we couldn't stop that. We didn't stop that. We don't have control over next to anything. You had thousands of people there that day. He filled out a stadium. I mean, he was like a rock star. The guy was throwing out hats. He's signing t-shirts. The guy's kissing babies. I mean, he's a beloved figure. We don't know who's in that crowd. We know the nature of some of these psychopathic leftists, these nose ring Americans. We hear what they say. And for all their insane babble and talk, we know that they're flirting dangerously close to doing something. And they do it all the time. And so when you see a mass of people, you have no idea what any one of those people is going through or who they are or what they're plotting. So the powerlessness it just hits you in waves. It's like, we couldn't stop this. We can't even catch the guy. So we're not in control of what are essentially biological animals who are just roaming the earth, each one of them with a unique cocktail of ideas and thoughts and pain and mental illness and unresolved issues and life circumstances, all of that crap equally out of our control. And so what do we do with this feeling? Well, it never really gets resolved. It just sort of sits there until what usually happens is we channel that angst and that bottled up feeling of fear and powerlessness that we have. And it often spills out into outrage. And trust me, there's a lot to be rightfully outraged about towards people's reaction to this. So we are immediately distracted by, wait a minute, what did you just say about the sickening assassination of this young man? What did you say? Their callousness, their disrespect, their evil and subhuman statements about this event, that leads us to an even more sickening realization. And that is, it is not just the one shooter that you have to worry about. We are surrounded by people whose sense of right and wrong is broken. A moral code? Forget about it. We are witnessing a caliber of human being on display that is shockingly abysmal, barely recognizable as human. It's beyond cringe. It's sort of, when you look at these videos of people making comments about Charlie Kirk's murder, and they're celebrating, there's glee, there's joy. It's not cringe. Your face does not cringe at it. It's more like catatonic shock of like, is this a joke? And you realize it's not a joke, it's not satire, it's not sarcastic. It's they themselves are a joke. They're a impersonation of a human being. And it's like, how sick have you people become? How lost are you in this moment in time? Are you this far gone and this deranged that you can't offer baseline human compassion in this moment? You despicable hypocrite. You fucking clown. As if the right were to start sniping people on the left that you, quote, agree with, do you think you'd be okay with that? Is this the world you want? Are you okay that you've incubated this world? You've birthed this into being with your fucking take on this? Jesus Christ. So there are waves of shock and dismay that I experience. It starts with anger towards the shooter. Let's get him, and I hope we do. Then inevitably we see the backlash and the reactions and the TikToks and the left-wing lunatics celebrating this. I am deeply troubled by what I have seen, and I'm appalled at what they're doing. They are a complete and total disgrace. But then the rabbit hole goes deeper, and we continue to fall. Because somewhere in the silent hours of reflection that I go through after an event like this, it quietly dawns on me that those leftists who are expressing joy and glee about a young man being assassinated in front of his family in horrific fashion, they live in a world and in a present-day culture where they feel comfortable enough to speak those things aloud. They know they're being recorded. They often record themselves saying the most vile, indefensible bullshit you could possibly imagine. Just bottom of the barrel, who the fuck are these people comments. And it's not even that they're saying it. It's that they felt that it was safe and acceptable to say it and post it and stand behind it. A guy walks up to them on the campus in broad daylight with a microphone and a camera. Hey, what do you think about Charlie Kirk's death? They've, in that moment, in their brains, it's okay to express the most hateful, morally fucking ridiculous statements in existence with a smile on their face. And of course you have creators, people on TikTok who film themselves and edit it and post it up and stand behind it. And by the way, get likes, get approval, get camaraderie in the chat, in the comments. This is a positive thing for them. They view this not only as morally acceptable, it's righteous and good that they're doing this. It's a safe thing to do. It's something that they will not only not receive backlash for or face consequences for, they'll receive praise and adoration for it. Laughter and likes and a new community of just vile, hateful, maniacal sociopaths. And what is their saving grace here? What is their bullshit narrative about how they're oppressed? You're half a gay? It's like, you're bisexually curious? Who cares? No one fucking cares, you lunatic. You're not allowed to kill people, you fuck. Christ almighty. And this is what sickens me the most. It's the quiet and pernicious, toxic audiences of these leftists that bolster and create this atmosphere. They allow for it. They enable it. It's like, what's worse, the guy who has a pedophile site online where he's giving out videos of kids getting fucked? Or is it the audience that are paying him to have the site? It's the audience that outnumbers the content creator. They're the ones paying the bills. They're the ones fueling the entire enterprise. Not to mention the people on the platform that allow it to happen. Luckily, on the regular internet, you probably couldn't have a pedophile site because no hosting company would be okay with it. There would be consequences to that hosting company, and they would be shut the fuck down. Doesn't matter if it would make you money. Now, that logic doesn't apply to violent rhetoric and lies and propaganda that inspire people to go kill.
I have breaking news. We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh. Cut the music. Cut the music.
So we live in a grotesque state of affairs where this kind of commentary currently just exists. It thrives and it gets rewarded. The cancer has rotted these people so far beyond recognition, it's astonishing. They're not even remotely normal human beings at this point. They're unrecognizable. We should hate them. I mean, the whole thing, it reminds me of the bronies. I was fascinated that there was a group of male fans of My Little Pony. And I was like, oh, that's kind of amusing and weird. It's kind of a geeky loserdom, but there must be something behind it because they're a passionate, diehard group of fans of a cartoon show targeting little girls. So I explored that. And you would think, before the internet, before the fandom grew, and before all the websites and the conventions, which I went to once, you would think if you're a guy into My Little Pony, like hardcore into it, you would be ashamed. You'd be like, well, I know it's not cool. I know it's a little bit deviant. And it's, by the way, it's not just like an innocent thing for like the majority of these guys. They're viciously fapping to horse porn and to like little girl porn. So it's a very bizarre, sexualized, fetishized, there's a lot of psychological meltdown happening in that community. But they're lonely guys and they don't really succeed in life. And so this is their escape and their fantasy. And also they're fapping to horse porn. But I was astonished and taken back that the new thing about this, there's always been deviant fucks in the world. It's the fact that there are so many of them now, and they're organized and the internet has provided them access to each other, that now they're enabled. Now it's not so abnormal. It's totally normal to be a clopper. They call it a clopper, which is a guy who faps to horse porn, both live and cartoon. And so if I'm in a room with 25 cloppers, then I guess me being a clopper isn't so bad. It's actually normal. And so I talked to several of them, and it's like they felt no shame in this. They were like, oh, yeah, I'm into horse porn, yeah. I love My Little Pony, correct. I have all the merch, I have all the gear, yes. What's your point? And I'm like, wait, where'd the shame go? Where was the backlash? And so it reaches a critical mass where you have a community of psychopaths, where your sociopathy becomes the standard. And now we all are just, your normalizing your insanity is in proximity to the real world, and sometimes these two bubbles intersect, and it becomes awkward. Which is why looking at leftists talk about political violence or talk about, oh, Luigi, and let's talk about Luigi. You think it's normal to execute a human being, an innocent man, a man with a family, a man who doesn't deserve to die, and you kill him, shoot him in the fucking back, and you're okay with that? You are a fucking lunatic, okay? But if you're surrounded by a bunch of other lunatic cloppers or people that are pro-political violence, so long as it's for the right cause. Free Palestine, remember? If you're one of these guys, you can justify anything. You get enough people around you that are in lockstep with what you think, then you feel good. I'm good. My views are right. How could it be wrong? Everyone else here, they all agree with me. So is it a genocide in Gaza? Enough people around me that if they say it, then it is. It isn't. It's a pretendicide. But if enough people agree, is it okay to fap to horse porn with little girls? Half horse, half little girl? Is that cool? Well, I have 1,000 people here that say it's fine. Hey, mom and dad, I'm 2 years old. You're telling me that a cow says moo? I've never seen a cow, mom and dad. But if you, dad, are saying it, and if you, mom, are saying it, and oh, Auntie Sarah, she says it too, well, that's 3. That's enough for me. Cows say moo. And it's okay to kill people if you don't like them. And if you disagree with someone politically, you can kill them. And you can joke about it, and you can be edgy and meme about it, and someone's got to do it. Someone should kill Trump. Someone should kill any right-winger. Kill Ethan Klein. Kill Ben Shapiro. It's funny that I said right-winger and then I said Ethan Klein. By the way, they view Ethan Klein as a right-winger or not pure enough, even though he's a far leftist because of his stance on Israel, which is as mild a stance on Israel as you could possibly take. Which is, I think it might maybe should exist. And maybe killing innocent people is bad. That's his stance that has made him be the receiver of human skulls in the mail. You think that's a healthy environment that we're in? And by the way, this could be about Israel, the whole thing. Because when you lie about, they called Charlie Kirk, oh, he supports and promotes genocide. So it's not a genocide, but if you're willing to lie and say shit like that, or that this man's in favor of this, like he wants this, like he wants this war and he wants dead babies and shit like that, those lies are so brash and outrageous that it could lead some loser idiot to go kill someone. Just like it did for Tiller the baby killer. Remember the abortion doctor? He's killing babies. It's not abortion, it's killing babies. Okay, well that's a lie. But okay, now somebody went and killed that dude. I wonder why. I wonder how. I wonder how the rhetoric, the reasoning, the stories being told, the narratives pushed that guy to do that. Cenk Uygur, the Young Turks, cops are assassinating people, they're executing people, black people, cops execute. Somebody's got to stop these cops from executing. When do we fight back? Gavin Long went and killed 4 cops. Hassan Piker, he's saying that, you should go kill political leaders. He's posting 3D printed guns saying, hey, go assassinate. The other day, he suggested someone go fight and be violent to Nick Fuentes, a guy who just survived an assassination attempt. I mean, why do they think we were upset at this whole movement of justifying what Luigi did? Because we didn't want this to repeat. Because it set a ridiculous precedent. Because it was totally messed up and 1,000% wrong. And anyone who said anything otherwise is a lunatic, is a crazy person, and is to be put on every watch list. They're disgusting. And we knew that this kind of attitude and this kind of temperature, this climate, was going to open the floodgates and inspire other shooters. And it has. So if you want to play edgy and loose and, ooh, tee-hee-hee, maybe we should be violent. Remember that Hassan talks about that revolutionary optimism. He's talking about a violent revolution. Okay, this pussy is going to inspire people to go kill. We've seen it with the assassination attempts on Trump. We've seen it all throughout American history. This is history repeating. It's history rhyming with itself. This is predictable. Unfortunately, this is not a bug of human beings. It's a feature. Any attempt by the sane among us to regulate the insane and keep them in check is an uphill battle. And it's one in which we cannot lose. We need everyone on board. Our society and our structures must be in complete, unequivocal lockstep on this regard. This is a line not only can you not cross, which is political violence, which is obviously assassinating people. You can't even approach the line with your rhetoric and with your reckless lying, because it leads to people being killed, and that is permanent and devastating. To kill and be violent is a non-starter. It is a primal red line in the sand. And we will be swift and decisive in punishing anyone who partakes, both in the action and in the inspiration, the incitation to the action. If you squeeze that trigger, you might as well put that gun to your head and squeeze the trigger again, because your life is over one way or another. You're a disgrace, you're a coward, you're an evil son of a bitch, and we're coming for you. I've seen already, and it's gonna come more, horrific and stupid responses to this. People have latched onto one thing or another to say about Charlie Kirk. Oh, I disagree with him when he said this thing or that thing, as if any of that is relevant to the man being shot to death. The fact that you'd even talk about a disagreement you had with him is fucking insane. It's tone deaf. Doesn't matter. Stupid ass Kyle Kulinski made a video where he's highlighting the fact that this guy is a pro Second Amendment guy, and so he's in favor of like people having the right to bear arms. And he said at some point, a certain number of gun deaths are acceptable so as to preserve our right to bear arms. And Kyle Kulinski plays this clip as if to suggest, well, I guess you were wrong because you're one of those casualties of gun violence.
Here's something that Charlie had regularly argued, and hard disagree on this one, man, but quote, I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. So, hey, some gun deaths every year are worth it for Second Amendment rights. It's like, well, I mean, now you're one of those people.
I mean, using the immediate aftermath of this man's life being snatched away, murdered by a coward, to try to get a political point off? So disgraceful. Holy shit. And by the way, the logic about him and Second Amendment and gun control and acknowledging that some people will die because we have the right to have guns is no different than saying, hey, shouldn't we ban cars? Because there will be deaths with cars, a lot of them, so shouldn't we just get rid of cars? And his answer to that would have been the same, which is, by the way, your answer and my answer to that, which is it's an acceptable thing that some people will die in car accidents for our right and the positive aspects that cars bring us. So as unfortunate as that is, it is a thing that we are calculating in and willing to try to minimize, but accept. It's no different than that. Now, if someone said that, which is your stance and my stance on our right to own cars, even though deaths will happen because people have cars, if you then get into a car accident and die, am I going to make a video saying, hey, look, well, this guy thought that car deaths were acceptable, so fucking crazy. What a despicable chump piece of shit to bring that up. Fucking crazy. Unbelievable. Do not lose sight of the headline here. Do not be drawn into the little petty bitch ass political point scoring of, I didn't like this guy for this reason or that reason. This is a Trump thing, a Republican thing, a freaking Christian thing. What are you talking about? It's a human being who was murdered in broad daylight. Have a fucking soul, you fucking ghoulish freaks. Okay, so that's my anger. Let me circle back. I want you to know that's my thought process. You're not alone in the frustration, the powerlessness, the angst, the anger, the sadness, the horror. I feel all that too. And I'm sad for that poor young man who is no longer with us. It shouldn't have happened. We need to catch the motherfucker that did this. And I feel horrible for him and his family.
So, if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.